Hey, everybody. Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in. Alongside Jan. Jan from New York City Saves Money is here with me
Hey,
today.
Steve.
Hey, Jan. So we're just gonna basically have a random chat. We're primarily going to talk about, like stockpiling and things like that. It could be a little bit random, so we'll see, where the conversation takes us. So, Jan, what's up or what's new?
Oh, hi. How you doing, Steve? Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate everybody's time. Steve, it weighs me heavy on my heart that we can actually take a lot of matters into our hands ahead of time and make life a little bit easier, like with just like a little bit of prep work. You know what I mean? Let me compare stockpiling, if you will, for a minute, everyone, to like when you want to make a recipe at home. Okay. Before this is what I do before I make a recipe, let's say for a cake from scratch. I will have everything I need, all the components necessary out on my table, ready for the taking, right then and there. I prepared ahead of time so I could easily just breeze through the recipe instead of, oh, wait, let me find the flour. Oh, wait, let me go look in the cupboard for the sugar. Oh, wait, what did I do with the molasses? No, instead, I will have everything ready. I will look at my recipe. Oh, I need this, whatever. There for the taking. How
Mhm.
easy is that? We too can do the same thing with stockpiling. And I know Steve has a few wonderful ideas up his sleeve, but I just, before Steve gets into it, I want to get into something that it is heavy on my heart. I don't understand, and I know Steve's going to, excuse me, pick it up a minute later about this. I don't understand the procrastination part about being prepared to do a stockpile. You want to know something, Steve? The greatest level of difficulty is procrastination at a later date for anything in life. Really, it's the truth. So the things you delay today will have serious consequences possibly tomorrow. This is how I look at it. And I think part of the problem with grocery stockpiling, let's look at the picture, that image behind us. This is an actual person that we both know, their actual stockpile. It's gorgeous. Look at that picture. And we're not saying, for example, Steve and I are not suggesting, oh, today it's going to happen. You're going to get that picture like that stockpile today. If you've never done it before, or you're in the beginning stages, no, it's not going to look like that right now. We cannot get intimidated by that, because if we look at something like that and go, oh no, I'll never get it to look like that, not going to happen. Steve, you know, I work with those two shelving units in my place. Okay. I expect it at some point to expand. I might even put it into a different closet, my stockpile, my inventory, because I look for ways to save. If I have an extra place, excuse the frog in my throat, please. If I have an extra place to put things, I will allow that space. And Steve, anybody from this very moment, anybody right this moment can look around. Suppose you never started to stockpile, you're intimidated by it, and no one should be. Don't do that. Go into your active pantry at some point after this video and take either one can or two cans from your active pantry. What's an active pantry, by the way? That's the stuff you're using right now, whether it's for within this week or the next 2 weeks. That is your active pantry. Remove one or two items from that active pantry. Find an empty space. Steve, this is where people get intimidated. I don't have space. Can I tell you something, Steve? How many people, everyone has someplace an empty shelf or a box or a spot for just two items, two cans. Doesn't have to be a big can. We can even start with the little can. You have two cans of tomato sauce, extra, take it. If it's not extra, just take it anyway, put it to the side. Why? To start from the beginning.
Mhm.
And you want to know something else, Steve? It doesn't cost a lot of money. And people have asked me, well, I'm low income, Janet. How should I start a stockpile? Or should I start with if I'm low income? Can I tell you something? Everyone who's low income pays strict attention of this. I believe, in my opinion, the lower your income, the more you need a stockpile. That's the way I'm looking at it. Because if you're bad enough in a position financially now, what if something, heaven forbid, times infinity, like a job cut or a layoff, which I went through? I don't even want to get into that story. That's another show. And maybe we'll continue on about that in a future show and how it related to stockpiling. Just start small. Steve, we could take $2, go to the dollar store and buy a couple of things. Steve, what do you have to add to that? I know you have a ton more to add to this.
Well, yeah, well, considering that at the dollar store, everybody knows that the price has had a slight bump. Now, if you want to purchase some, there is a few things here and there that may still be a dollar, but most of the stuff, I'd say about 85, 90% of it's gone up to 125. So even 250, yeah, but keep in mind the dollar store is not always the best place to go and get canned goods, I have come to find. I'd like to revolve around basically two stores. Walmart is one. The other one is Aldi because I can go there and get canned goods for less than 60 cent a can. Why should I pay 125 when I can go to Aldi, Walmart, places like that? You're not getting name brand. Name brand doesn't always matter, but I would rather go there and get double, triple the amount of stuff that I could get instead of me. The dollar store is good. It depends on what you're after. I mean, I do like the dollar store. There are some things there that I like to get versus going to Walmart or whatnot. But you know what, though? I will say this. One of the main things that everybody needs to do and I've mentioned it before, matter of fact, just recently, you need to do this when it comes to stockpiling. This is a big key right here. You definitely, once you start it, get it to going a little bit, like you say, invest about 20 bucks, $15 a month. And I highly recommend low income families to do it more so than people that are on middle of the road income or even higher income, because a lot of things that can occur from one minute to the next is unpredictable. Because, like a song that I know, you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yes.
And if you're familiar with music from the late 80s, you'll know where I'm going with this. But um, you definitely want to take inventory, see what you have. But again, this is once you have it up to going a little bit. I mean, at first, you don't want to take inventory. I mean, because you're not going to have a whole lot to go on. But, you know, that's a good thing to do because you just don't know from one minute to the next.
And
Bad weather.
Steve,
Yeah.
can I throw this? Oh no, I love your point. Go ahead, and then when you're finished with your point, I'll
You
come
wanna
back.
you wanna come? Okay. Well,
Yes.
I was pretty much, see, I'm in Florida. Florida are surrounded by water, of course. I'm prone to the hurricanes, the tornadoes, the bad weather. And anytime I see a tropical depression or whatever you want to call it forming, this is days before the hurricane actually becomes. I always, whether it's coming to me or it doesn't come to me, I always err on the side of caution because I don't want to be, as you mentioned, I don't want to be the 11th hour person. I would rather be second or third hour, get in there, get my stuff when the stuff is still available, because I have been in the position that I go almost 11th hour and I don't have a whole lot to pick from. So you definitely need to be on top of things no matter what. I mean, you really do.
Yes. And you know what, Steve? I just was going to add earlier that
Hmm.
everyone starts at the beginning or at
Oh,
zero.
yeah.
All of us start at zero. Okay. So we cannot compare someone else's, like they're in the middle of from a year and a half ago, to your beginning, because some people get intimidated, they get frustrated. But you brought up a really good point. Because, Steve, I cannot tell you every season they show us on the national type of newses, for example, stations about, like, when it's hurricane season, let's say, for example, in Florida, the same tired story of last minute people boarding up, running to the grocery store, acting like, an apocalypse is about to begin. And maybe in some cases there is real devastation. I'm not undermining that. I'm not underplaying that. But when a person has 99% of the year This is where the 11th hour
Yeah,
frustrates me.
yeah, yeah. Well, I coming up in July, I've lived in Florida 41 years. So I'm pretty well versed on how things
Yes.
weather-wise can occur around here. Yes, I've lived through several hurricanes. I've waited out a couple, some that I had to get away from. But when you're at the store, this is when you're doing your shopping. Um, Again, this is another tip that I've mentioned, but it's so relevant. It can be a good deal. I'm going to just pull it up. Do take advantage of the manager specials. Go over because a manager special can be anything from canned goods to bread to milk to eggs, cheese, anything in the store, a bottle of water. So we don't know, what it could be. Definitely always go over, take a look and see what the manager special is. Do your math, look and see if there's any real savings. Could you possibly pick it up at a different store? Remember, I'm one of those people when I go shopping, if those that don't know me, I'm about to throw this in. I am a bang for your buck type person. I want to get the most for my money. Um, you know,
You
I
want to
try to
maximize your dollar value. I don't blame you.
Yes, yes. So if I'm able to go and purchase, yeah, it's a good deal, but I could save another 50, 75 cents if I go over there. You know, do keep that in mind. Like for example, Publix likes to do a lot of buy one get one frees. They do a lot of that week to week to week to week. It can be a good deal. Not is, it can be. You got to do your math.
True.
Sometimes the deal is pretty good. It depends. Like I do like to drink seltzer water. A lot of the time, I can get like two 8 packs or two 12 packs because I'm getting, you know, for about $7 or $8, I'm getting two 12 packs, which breaks down to what about I said $7, $8. That would break down to about $4 a 12 pack. So I'm doing four and four instead of me going over to a wholesale club and paying 8, 9, or 10. See, see where I'm going with that? Going with that.
Yes.
So
Yes, that's
I
great.
don't look at buy one get one free as getting one free. I look at it as half off.
Half off. That's absolutely right. And these are things that can keep. Having the seltzer water, for example, things that can keep. And by the way, those containers, I mean those cardboard packaging that those seltzers or sodas come in, you can actually repurpose those. Just for the record,
Hmm.
for like when you're yeah, for like when you store away like some canned goods in your stockpile, you could organize it in such a way and putting the older cans in the older cans, excuse me, the newer cans go in the back, the older cans go in the front. So you have them, easily there too. So that's a
Hmm.
wonderful thing to do. Steve, I want to mention the channel JB Breaks Free for a second.
Hmm.
JB Breaks Free is a wonderful channel. I strongly suggest you go there. You're going to feel beyond 1% better about yourself every day. But he talks about a myriad of issues. And he was very impressed with a recent series I had on stockpiling. And he mentioned what he's going to start doing and has been doing, storing water, because this is on topic with what you just, to your point about storing water.
Hmm.
JB broke it down to his family's needs in such a way mathematically that he is now on his way, well prepared for the correct amount of water to have for his family. I believe he has a family of four, so two. I believe it's two children. I could be wrong. Two and
Hmm.
two, and he broke it down. And the way he broke it down, then I took that math, Steve, and I applied it to me. Then that means that I need to have, in my case, 23 gallons of water should there be an emergency. It's nice to know these numbers, Steve.
Oh yeah,
Like you said, the taking of the inventory, going back to your point,
right.
taking of the inventory and working with it. And water is an essential. We can live without a lot of things. We cannot live without water.
That's correct because what is one of the first things that's wiped off the shelf in the grocery store? Water is always the first to go.
Yes.
So I need to start doing that. I need to go back and refigure about how much water I would consume in 1 month. That's a good one. I never really thought about it. Well, I can get um like the purified water in the bottles. I can get that at either Sam's or BJ's. It comes in a 40 pack. Would I go through 40 bottles of water in a month? Yeah, I would probably think that 2 a month should hold me, and I would still have some left over.
Right.
So, because I would rather have overage than underage, to be
And yeah, oh, I agree. I always see that's the whole point, Steve. And this is what baffles me as a human being. Why aren't people wanting to err on the side of caution? Like you just said, to your point, like you just said, you rather have an overage. Heck yeah. Without being
yeah.
item specific, because I can't get into the news. I just can't. But as you know, many people, there's like an ongoing situation where people are concern in a community about water. It's hitting the news
Yeah.
every day, and rightfully so. That's the last thing those folks anticipated when they woke up that morning, that things were going to happen in such a manner.
Mhm.
We have to be ready. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when, and that's it. It could be a minor thing, it could be a layoff. Like I mentioned, the low income, Steve, earlier.
Yeah.
If a person is low income and couldn't gather any savings and they lose their job, they're temporarily laid off. Isn't it a nice feeling to know, well, thank God, especially if you have children, I have a stockpile of groceries. Every trip to the supermarket, pick up $5 worth of shelf stable items.
Yeah, yeah.
You can
Um,
get mac and cheese in a box for 50 cents sometimes.
yeah, yeah. Again, you have to know. You also know have to know where to go and shop for your stuff too.
Yes.
Um, but you definitely now coming back to what you just said, um, it is good to have a few months of an emergency fund if you've got 3 or 4 months to set aside. That's good. Anything is better than nothing because you don't know. You don't know. You can go from rags to riches to the poorhouse just like that.
Right.
So you don't know. So
I often compare it to Christmas time. The whole world knows that Christmas is always on December 25th. Steve, I lived 64 years and I'm into 64 plus a couple of months years now. And I look at my calendar, Steve. Christmas has never changed the date on the calendar. It
no,
is still December 25th. So I ask myself, for those that celebrate by exchanging of gifts, some do and some don't, but those that do, there are some that are very ready, and there are some that to this minute, and it baffles me. I call it the 11th hour shopping, as you know, and some of them are literally 11:55 p.m. out in the street trying to figure out what to get a family member for Christmas. That I don't get. Now, the difference is this: that's Christmas and that's gifting. The Christmas gifting is an option. Having a stockpile of food ready if something emergency happens, in my opinion, and especially if you have a family, to me that is not an option.
no. Well, there is one other day that does not change from year to year to year to year. Some people like to acknowledge it as a good thing. Some people hate the day. And it's perfectly understandable. My birthday from year to year, every year my birthday is the same day, October 31. That's not going to change.
No, no.
Thanksgiving, on the other hand, is a little different. It's going to be a Thursday, the third Thursday of every November, but that day changes from year to year. It's not always the same. Sorry about that. So it's not always the same day year after year. So anyway, we will pick up on this subject because we want to talk more about it at a later juncture. But only thing I want to throw in, yes, definitely check out JB's channel. He's got great information. Um, Another channel, as most people may or may not know, check out your channel Monday through Friday,
Thank you.
5 a.m. Right. You're welcome, because she's got, you know, a good segment that goes up each morning.
I love to
Talking
help people keep some more of their own hard-earned money.
money, right? That's we all got to pull together here. So, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us today. Definitely be out on the lookout for me next week, and we'll see you back here next Saturday, and we'll pick up on this subject, like a part two, I guess you could say.
I
Then
think it's of vital importance. I agree with you, Steve. I think we should expound upon it a little more.
I do too. All right. So I hope you and everybody else has a great rest of your
And thank
Saturday.
you for having me. Thank you
You're
for being here,
welcome.
everyone. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Yeah. And have a good day. Have a good weekend. And we'll see you next time. Bye.